Hello everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am Cindy Ann and this is my co-host Loki, our Great Dane, or as I refer to him, my Great Pain. When he plays or gets excited, I end up in pain somehow. He means no harm, he's just very strong and like a toddler, he wants to play all the time. Loki and my husband came as a package deal. If I outlive him, and if I ever own another dog, he will be a lap dog, not just one that thinks he is, and he will be a rescue dog. So obviously right now we are all dealing with the same pandemic, and yet we all have very different stories to share as to how it is affecting us. Today I'd like to share with you how it has changed me. So stay tuned, I will be explaining the 5 reasons I went vegan 3 months ago. Well, sort of. I only cook plant-based meals now. I still won't turn down a few chicken wings or beef nachos over a beer, since most restaurants in Michigan don't have a great plant-based selection on their menus yet, and we enjoy eating out at least once a week, or so we did before COVID-19. Let's just say, while at home, I am cooking all plant-based meals now. I also want to tell you why I feel like a hypocrite working for a federally funded government program, and of course I will answer the question as to why start a YouTube channel at my age during a pandemic. Only 3 short months ago I would have said you were crazy if you said I would be videotaping myself at home. Seriously, this is definitely out of my comfort zone. But so is everything these days. I feel like we are living in the twilight zone. Also, please stay tuned to the very end for a peek into life with Loki. Photography is my new hobby, and since he is ever present, he is my favorite subject to shoot. He's my big old Marmaduke. Okay, let's jump right in. The 5 reasons I only cook plant-based meals now. Number 1, Netflix convinced me to. Seriously, have you watched any of their docuseries, TV? I enjoy learning new stuff, so with extra time on my hands, thanks to the quarantine, I gravitated towards educational TV. And as a dietitian and a recovered teenage anorexic, I chose health and wellness shows. So check out What the Health, The Game Changers, Cowspiracy, Vegan 2019, and my favorite, Fork Over Knives. There is no going back for me. I can't erase what I've learned nor the images I have seen. My conscience will no longer allow me to help people profit from their inhumane treatment of animals. Number 2, I am cheap. Some may say. I call it frugal. Money matters a lot during a pandemic. Have you seen the meat prices these days? Compare them to the cost of a pound of dry beans, a very versatile protein source, by the way. It can be more affordable to eat a plant-based diet, especially with meat prices on the rise, and think of the money saved if you didn't have to pay for medications each month. Number 3, I love animals. I really do. I have a soft spot for all living creatures. Even as a child, I remember surrounding myself with stuffed animals before going to sleep each night. We currently have 2 dogs and 3 cats, and I think little pigs are as cute as puppies, and cows have big, beautiful, kind-looking eyes. It pains me to see how badly most animals are treated before making it to our local grocery stores. I bet we'd have more vegans in the world if we had to slaughter our own cow in order to have a steak on our plate. Number 4, the evidence. It is now crystal clear, not just because of the science, but because of the powerful testimonials of people that have gone vegan. Just ask any vegan about how they currently feel after following a plant-based diet for a month or more. They have more energy, sleep better, and feel healthier, and many are able to discontinue medications. And as a woman who just went through menopause, not fun, I definitely want to hold on to my health and feel better. Globally, many researchers now believe that if we were all on a plant-based diet, heart disease would not even exist. And currently, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Around 647,000 Americans die yearly of heart disease, 25% of all deaths, something we can eliminate simply by changing what we eat. No vaccine needed. Being as healthy as we possibly can be during a pandemic may just be our golden ticket. People who have a compromised immune system, meaning some illness or other, and the elderly, many of whom ate meat and dairy their entire life, are the majority of people dying from COVID. I want to be as healthy as I can be so I don't have to be afraid of the invisible enemy. We really don't know when a vaccine will be discovered, if a vaccine will be discovered. Remember, we have a flu vaccine, and yet 20 to 60,000 people still die each year from the flu in America alone. And it's usually not because they didn't get vaccinated. It's because there are many mutations of the flu virus. My job requires me to get vaccinated each year, and last year I was out of work for an entire week fighting the flu. It was not fun. The vaccine only works for about 30% of flu viruses each year, and they are already talking about COVID symptoms changing. So it too may already be mutating, which will make finding an effective vaccine much more difficult. And remember, COVID has already taken nearly 150,000 American lives in only 6 months. Over 500,000 people globally. That is devastating. But yet, that is still not as many people that are dying yearly of heart disease, something we have the power to eliminate. And let's not forget where most deadly viruses originate, from animals. Number 5, our environment. I really enjoy gardening and being outside with my hands in the dirt. I can weed for hours as long as the sun is out, thus the fake nails hiding the dirt. When I can hear birds singing and I can see butterflies gliding on sweet-smelling breezes is where I achieve my spiritual innermost peace and tranquility. Mother Earth deserves our respect, as do all of her inhabitants, whether walking upright on 2 legs or 4, regardless of their size or color or where they call home, walking across land, flying above in her blue skies, or swimming out in her vast open waters. All living creatures deserve to be treated with respect. We now have over 1.5 billion cows on this earth, most of whom are being raised in miserable conditions, and we can no longer deny the fact that they are contributing to the harmful amounts of methane in our environment. Here in Michigan, 10 days straight of 90-degree weather. Our normal average high for July is 85. I am filming this in my sunroom at 7 a.m. Otherwise, it would be too hot in here. It sure seems like global warming is a real thing. And did you know that the destruction of the world's rainforests, which keep oxygen in the air that we breathe, are being cleared in large part for agricultural purposes, either for the cows themselves or for the crop that feeds them? They are currently being destroyed at a rate of 200,000 acres a day. That's 150 acres a minute, 78 million acres a year. Humans need trees to live on this planet, as well as many other species that are near extinction due to the continued destruction of their habitat. Okay, on to why I feel like a hypocrite at my job now. When I was 35 years old, I received a phone call from my doctor. It was back when I didn't have a cell phone, so he left a message on my landline. The message he left went something like this. I have your bone density scan here, and your bones look like that of a 65-year-old woman's. You need to get in to see me ASAP so we can start on a treatment. I know, right? I was shocked too. So after regaining my composure, I called his office only to find out that he couldn't see me for 2 weeks. Talk about stress. Even with 2 kids at home under the age of 5 to manage at the time, those 2 weeks did not go by quickly. I was then prescribed Fosamax to strengthen my bones. Fast forward 7 years, I discontinued taking it when I came across research showing that Fosamax actually was causing more damage to my bones. Needless to say, I am now very leery of all pharmaceutical drugs. Ironically, around the same time in America, the Got Milk campaign was in full swing, and it seemed as if every other commercial or billboard showed a famous person sporting a white milk mustache. Of course, these were all funded by the National Dairy Council. We know that advertising is meant to sell a product, so they will flat out lie to make money. But what about our government, who's supplying our school lunch programs with dairy milk? Google search white lies milk. There are over 400 research papers proving how bad dairy is for us. Shouldn't our government care about the health of our children? My health when I was a child? This pandemic has opened my eyes to the fact that they don't. They don't care enough. Money is what motivates our government. Did you know that the government is currently making direct payments to the dairy industry to the tune of $2.9 billion, and over $5 billion is going to farmers and ranchers due to COVID? That money could do a lot of good if it was put into our healthcare system instead of helping an industry that is literally helping to keep us sick and killing us prematurely. And this is just one of the pieces of education that I'm supposed to be supplying to my clients at work. Guess who funds this publication? Yep, the dairy industry. I stopped drinking cow's milk around 19 years ago. Yes, soon after that phone call, because of my own research on how to treat osteoporosis. And guess what? My last bone density scan showed only 2 locations of osteopenia, a big improvement from osteoporosis. I am 54 years old today with better bones than I was 35 without the help of medications and by eliminating dairy from my diet. Go figure. Happy birthing day, Mom. So why YouTube? My mother. I grew up on Long Island in New York, where she still lives. My daughter and I were going to visit her for her birthday in May. Sadly, that trip had to be canceled due to COVID. YouTube will allow her to visit with me in my kitchen weekly. And as a recent empty nester, the kids are out of the nest anyway, I realize how precious it would be if I could see my kids weekly on YouTube. I love you, Mom. But seriously, I've created this YouTube channel because I am mad that I've been lied to all these years, and I have a new passion for wanting to help shine a light on the truth for other people so they may be as healthy as they possibly can during these uncertain times. Since I have been cooking plant-based meals, I am happy to report that my husband, a big guy standing at 6'3", who was raised on a typical American diet, which included meat and potatoes, pizza, fast food, and barbecue, has been enjoying all of my meals. I'm not kidding. Thanks to this magazine and various YouTubers showing me how to cook delicious plant-based meals, we have been enjoying some of the most flavorful meals that I've ever eaten while getting healthier. I like to refer to our meals now as parties for our taste buds. They are that good. My husband is now off all of his medications. He used to have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heartburn quite often. He feels much better. And an added bonus was that he lost 10 pounds too, all without sacrificing flavor and without feeling hungry. He actually likes my cooking better now than before. I'm not joking. I guess I was never very passionate about cooking with meat because of my love of animals, as well as it being much higher in fat and calories. It was simply a chore that I had to do to feed my family. I mostly cooked American basics such as hamburgers, spaghetti, tacos, and hamburger helper and canned green beans on occasion. My sister, who cooks from scratch and is an excellent cook, is probably cringing right now. Love you, Susan. And did you know that around 25% of all people ages 25 to 34 are now eating a plant-based diet? And the numbers are growing. I think each generation gets smarter because they are following the science in order to save our planet while being healthier and saving animals' lives too. My daughter stopped eating meat when she was 15. She's a very smart young lady and a very talented artist. These are just a few of her award-winning paintings displayed in my Erica Bradshaw gallery. She has even written and illustrated a children's book emphasizing how our trash impacts the planet and its wildlife. Whoop! This book also teaches us what we all can do to help eliminate waste. It can be purchased on Amazon, by the way. I think about it like this. Food can be compared to people. We all have a unique relationship with food, and we all have those friends and family members that we love being around. They make us feel better, just happier. They're good for our mental health. This may be your best friend, a spouse, a family member. They are like your plant-based foods, good for our body and soul. And then there are those people that we don't want to be around as much because they make us feel irritated or stressed, which is bad for our mental health. Those people are the meat and dairy in our diet. We should have minimal contact with them for better overall health. They don't necessarily have to be totally eliminated, just like the friends or family members that occasionally piss you off will still have a place in your life. I don't consider myself a vegan, although about 90% of my diet is plant-based, because I feel better. I like being an individual that follows her own arrow. That's a reference to Casey Musgrave's country hit song for all you non-country music fans. It's called Follow Your Own Arrow. So I know we all have memories of turkey at Thanksgiving, or maybe a pot roast at Christmas. Corned beef and cabbage meant it was St. Patrick's Day for us. A big ham at Easter. Who had hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill July 4th. And my all-time favorite was prime rib being carved up by my kid's grandpa. May he rest in peace. On New Year's Day for 20 or more bilbies. It is hard to let go of these traditions. I am not sure if I want to either. They are synonymous with great family memories. Maybe the younger generation will have it easier since they don't have to create a lifetime of memories focusing around a dead animal. I hope so. But for my generation, let's try to slowly make healthier changes for ourselves so we can get out and live without being afraid of COVID-19 or heart disease for that matter. And you will have more energy and feel better too. So join me weekly on YouTube as I find new plant-based substitutes for everyone's all-time American favorite foods, starting off with the big one, bacon. My son said he could never go vegan because of this one meat he would never want to give up. So my first cooking episode will be dedicated to my 21-year-old son, Kyle. Eat more fruits and vegetables, please. Next up, I will be in the kitchen preparing a delicious BLT sandwich with crispy, incredible tasting eggplant bacon. It will leave you thinking that you too just may be able to introduce more plant-based meals into your diet for optimal health. And remember, change isn't always easy. My husband still eats meat weekly, but he was willing to cut his meat consumption back drastically to get healthier. His motivation was not simply because I do most of the cooking. Unfortunately, he unexpectedly lost his father during this pandemic. He never realized how many medications his dad was on until we had to clean his apartment out. It was a wake-up call for him. I am not on any medications, and during a pandemic, it's nice to not have to worry about their expense or their availability. We know that a healthy body leads to a healthier mind too, since they share the same blood. And I am sure we could all use a mental health boost with all that is going on these days. Only 3 short months after being mostly plant-based, I have so much more energy. For my mental well-being, the timing was perfect. It has helped me cope. I am excited to help you on your journey to better health. So please subscribe, and I will see you in the kitchen so you too can be fit for you.
The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors.